you go somewhere, there are some stories related to some persons.
Don't know about it.
Okay, you don't have that idea. Okay. What's the role of stories in the development of child mind?
They are very huge, we can say, role about the stories in the student mind. In our childhood, all things that was told to us, stories told to us, is are very helpful to us about learning anything.
Mainly while story, brain develops.
Yes.
Things which can't be taught directly can be taught through the storytelling method. Okay, what are the benefits of grandparents telling story to their children in the family?
We can say they are free time, or we can say leisure time. In their leisure time, they used to tell the stories.
What exactly they try to convey to their next generation?
Their experience, mainly the experience, or
Their beliefs, their thinking pattern, their cultural content.
What about their livelihood and what they achieved in their life, and how their siblings, we can say.
Should we believe those stories after getting adult?
I think there are many stories are true in currently, but many stories are not true. Like the story I heard about, like in my childhood, that there is a, if we don't sleep, or we can say if we don't eat, then we can say ghost will come. That all stories are not true, we can say.
When you get adult, then you come to know many were false.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's the difference between the stories of past and stories of present, which are told to students or kids?
You know, in the past, if anyone, if we can say, if any mother wanted to give food to her
Child.
to her child, then she is always
She used to
say that
say that.
say
वो
that
कहा करती थी,
I don't want to eat.
if you wouldn't eat, अगर आप नहीं खाओगे,
Then the ghost will come, we can say, and punish you. But in today's time, the mothers will give the mobile phone and give the food.
and kid they are having their food. Okay,
Everything is changed.
has changed.
Has changed.
But question was that what's the difference between the story of the past or the present? So like earlier time, when people they used to make stories, they used to deliver some historical character, some ghost related fiction, some science fiction, or some like a religious content based. Like earlier there used to be one temple, or there used to be one fort or a palace, that. So earlier these used to be. And right now present, because most of the parents they are unaware related to that stuff. So now their stories are related to surrounding, what is in the present. Okay, next, how do stories affect youngster or teenager?
I think stories do not affect any youngster or teenager.
Don't affect.
Yes.
How can you say about that? It's if someone is telling you related to someone, that is also a story.
Yes, there are many stories we can say. Many are the stories. Everything we can say is a story.
Don't you think that when you tell someone related to you, that is also a story made by you? There is the fact. If you say, I belong to particular community, I belong to particular city or state or whatever you say, so that is also a story. Where is the fact? For saying purpose we say this or that. but actually we are writing our own story. Because if today you decide something, so that is your story. You say, I am like that, but that boy is like that boy is like that, so this house is like that. So that is your story. Is it truth or is it the myth?
It's truth.
Reality versus
Yes.
what?
Everyone have their own stories.
Has their own
Have
stories.
their own stories.
Stories like a point of view, like the way of seeing the
Thinking.
life, thinking
about
pattern,
our life.
or way of delivering the things, seeing the life. So everybody comes with a different story. If a teacher teaches you, every student has a different impression.
Yes.
Some would
If-
say I like,
Someone can say
it was boring.
boring.
So whom to trust? Whether it's a fact or myth. So like we were talking about the stories. So youngsters, do they believe earlier king used to, or these? So do they believe right now?
No.
Because today is the era of AI. They can go and search the history of anything. Next question is that do you think children have lost their interest in stories? They are not interested anymore.
It's I think that after like particular age, then they used to lose the interest and go for their career.
When they meet with reality,
Need to, yes, we can say.
then they
Stop there.
paying attention on these stories because they know what's the fact.
Yes. But it's true, it is right.
Whether it's real or myth. Should schools organize storytelling competitions?
Yes, because if any school used to like start a competition about it, then they know about the students, like how they tell the stories and what. Like we can, at my point of view, if every like the student who tells good stories, he also become a good teacher, or he or she.
So you consider storytelling as a way of teaching someone something.
Yes.
Okay.
Like conveying his or her message like in particular way that the others also understand.
And actually everything is a story. When some sportsman is playing on a ground, or when any singer is performing, or when any dancer is performing somewhere on a stage, so they are trying to cultivate one story and they are going to deliver it to the audience. Even in a dance, if there isn't any story, then nobody will go and watch. There should be a connection, chemistry. Can storybooks be an ideal gift for children?
In today's time, no one is not read
Doesn't read.
doesn't read any book. But everyone
Wants to.
wants to have a phone, like used it. But you know, every person not like
Doesn't like.
that doesn't like
Everything.
everything.
How can
Someone also
Okay.
used to read books. Like mine is also a hobby. But you know, I don't have a hobby about reading a book. But there is one person who tells me that if books had not want to read them,
Try again.
books want to. We only used to read books that like
Hindi, tell me what exactly will
जे बुक सुनो भी वही कर ना भी पढ़ना नहीं चाहूँगी बच्चे नहीं पढ़ सकते.
Okay, English. If any book doesn't want
to
reveal itself to
reveal
you,
itself.
you would not.
But I have
Opposite.
opposite point of view, that there is our choice if we want to read or not.
Whether we want to read or not. You can try. If see, reading book is a different thing. Reading with understanding, it's a altogether game, different thing. And reading and applying it in your real life, that's a different thing.
There are three points of view.
Even there are multiple. After reading any book, should you follow it or not? You can't follow blindly any book. The one who is writing, that is that person's point of view. If that person belongs to some particular community or particular, you can say, party or country, so that person would write as per that person's mindset. So if you consider any great writer or anybody, so they are writing that thing because of their personal experience related to that thing. If that thing is not going to happen with you, how can you experience that thing? Try to say something related to that.
At the end, I only want to tell you that books is very good, are also a story.
This is a way to deliver the message.
You can say. And I recommend everyone to read books instead of using the mobile.
Okay, last two questions are left.
Yes.
Should schools use story as a method of teaching in classroom?
Yes, I think
Especially for junior
juniors classes we can say, because if we passed 5th or 6th, then our mindset is like
Now it's a rational, logical.
Everything we'll understand.
And we want proof of everything. Logical.
You know, after the class of 5th or 6th, every children are used to say that why. I do think
Every child starts saying why.
We can say do this work. They used to say
Why
I
means
do.
they don't know why. But why is there when they are following their custom and religion? Why? Why does God exist?
Yes. They have their other questions. We have another question. Their point of view is different. Because
Age gap.
age can different the point of view.
Their mindset changed. So here I was telling you, if you are asking why, it means you are having a reasoning mind and you want to know that. Why should I? But when you start saying how, then when you say why, you are still religious, you are still social. Why shouldn't I do that or this? But when you say how, then your mindset is related to science. How does it work? When you start saying how from to why, then it means you progress. If you keep saying why, so there is a how. Last question. So that's the same question. We need not to consider. Finally, if you want to say anything, then we can sum up the topic.
At the end, I also want to say that everyone, like there is a child, or we can say elder or adult age.
Age gap doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But the topic of books is different. You can say like childhood. Children is also.
Children are
want to read.
Want आ रहा तो आ नहीं आएगा. Children want to.
Children want to read books like comic books. And after 18, fiction books. And after that, we can say normal books. We can stories. Then after that, at the past, at the plus 60 age.
After crossing their teenage.
Teenage we can say no. Like
after crossing their senior age.
They used to read about the religious books.
Okay.